Wow. Wow. Liz and Bryce are asking fans to help them pay for their dream wedding and honeymoon. And finally, some very exciting news has come out. Seven Little Johnstons star Bryce Baldwin's wife, Elizabeth Johnston, is pregnant. Elizabeth is expecting twins. I'll explain everything. Hello, everyone. Today we have news that will make you smile and maybe even cry. It's a story about love, family, and the amazing surprises life can bring. We've watched Elizabeth grow from a confident young girl into a strong young woman. We've supported her as she followed her dream of becoming a nurse. And we've loved watching her sweet relationship with her longtime boyfriend, Bryce Baldwin. Their love story has been one of the most loved parts of the show. It's like a real-life fairy tale, two high school sweethearts building a deep connection over the years. Fans have been waiting for the next big step in their story. When will Bryce propose? When will they get married? And of course, when will they start a family? Well, the wait is over. The moment everyone has been waiting for is finally here, and it's more exciting and more joyful than anyone expected. Elizabeth Johnston and Bryce Baldwin are not just expecting their first baby, they are expecting twins. This is the story of how Elizabeth and Bryce found out they were going to be parents, how they shared the news with their families, and the amazing journey they are now on as they prepare to welcome two babies into their lives. It's a story you don't want to miss. To understand how big this news is, we need to go back to the beginning. Elizabeth and Bryce met in high school. It was a classic story of young love. They were just teens figuring out dating and growing feelings. We've seen their love grow over the years. Bryce became a fan favorite with his calm and caring nature. He fit right in with the Johnston family. He wasn't just Elizabeth's boyfriend. He was becoming part of the family. One of the best things about their relationship is how open and honest they are. On the show, we've seen them talk seriously about their future, marriage, jobs, and having kids. Elizabeth has been very open about her experience with achondroplasia and the possible challenges of pregnancy for someone with her condition. She has also shared her strong wish to become a mom, to give the same love and support her parents, Amber and Trent, gave to her. Bryce has always been there for her. He listens, encourages, and shows her that he's ready for anything as long as they're together. Who can forget when Bryce gave Elizabeth a promise ring? He told her, "This is my promise to you for our future. A promise that I'll always be here for you, and that one day we'll get married and have a family." That special moment showed everyone that their love was real and strong. In the past few seasons, we've seen them take another big step, moving in together. That was huge for them. It gave them a chance to live as a couple and build a future side by side. And now, that future is about to be even more exciting, with two little babies on the way. So how did their journey into parenthood begin? According to people close to the family, the signs were small at first. A few months ago, Elizabeth started feeling extra tired. She thought it was just from working long hours at the hospital. But then other things happened. Her favorite food started smelling bad. She felt sick in the mornings. At first, she thought it was just bad coffee. Her mom, Amber, noticed something was different. With her experience and mom instincts, she saw a change in Elizabeth. She seemed softer, more tired than usual. One afternoon, Amber gently brought it up while they were having a quiet talk. "You seem a little different lately, honey," she said. "Are you feeling okay?" Elizabeth admitted she had a feeling she might be pregnant. She was a few weeks late, but didn't want to get too hopeful. She and Bryce had been talking more about having a baby, but they knew it might take time. With her mom's support, Elizabeth decided to take a pregnancy test, but she didn't want to do it alone. That evening, she told Bryce what she was thinking. As always, he was calm and loving. He held her and said no matter what happened, they were in it together. Then they took the test. Those few minutes felt like forever. Everything was hanging on that one result. Then it happened, 2 pink lines. Positive. In that quiet moment, their lives changed. They were going to be parents. They cried. They hugged. They whispered to each other. It was finally happening. They were starting a family. They stayed in that moment, just the two of them, holding on to the joy and surprise of it all. But the biggest surprise was still to come. Their first doctor's visit was a huge deal. It's when everything becomes real, when you hear the heartbeat and see the tiny flicker on the screen. For Elizabeth and Bryce, it was even more important because Elizabeth's pregnancy is high risk due to her achondroplasia. They went into the appointment with questions, ready to talk about the risks and make a plan. The doctors were kind and knowledgeable. They felt supported and safe. And then came the news that changed everything again. Not one baby, but two. Twins. Elizabeth, with her background in nursing, took an active role in the conversation. She stayed calm and used her knowledge, impressing everyone in the room. Then it was time for the ultrasound. The room went quiet as the technician moved the device over Elizabeth's belly. Elizabeth and Bryce watched the monitor closely, trying to spot the tiny shape of their baby. Then they saw it, a small, flashing flicker. It was the heartbeat, strong and steady. A wave of emotion and relief washed over them. Tears filled Elizabeth's eyes as she squeezed Bryce's hand. He leaned over and kissed her forehead, his own eyes getting teary. The doctor smiled warmly and said, "Everything looks great. The heartbeat is strong and the baby is right on track." But then the technician paused. She moved the device again and focused more carefully, her face showing deep concentration. She typed something on the keyboard, took a few more measurements, and then looked over at the doctor with a knowing glance. The room suddenly felt tense. Elizabeth and Bryce gave each other a nervous look. Was something wrong? The doctor's serious face suddenly turned into a big, happy smile. She looked at the couple and said words that would change their lives forever. "Mr. Baldwin, Ms. Johnston, I hope you're ready for a big adventure." She pointed to the screen. "You see this flicker here? That's baby A." Then she moved the device slightly. "And this flicker here, that's baby B." Silence. Total silence. Elizabeth and Bryce stared at the screen, trying to understand what they were seeing. Not one baby, but two. They were having twins. According to a source, Bryce was the first to speak. A slow, surprised smile spread across his face, followed by a quiet, amazed laugh. "Are you serious?" he asked. Elizabeth was overwhelmed with joy. Tears were now streaming down her cheeks, but they were happy tears. Twins, she thought again and again. It was more than they had ever imagined. The doctor explained that it was still early, but both babies looked healthy and had strong heartbeats. They were likely fraternal twins, each in their own sac with their own placenta. The rest of the appointment flew by in a blur of tears, laughter, and questions. The worry about a high-risk pregnancy was now mixed with incredible joy. They left the doctor's office feeling dazed, holding the ultrasound pictures, the first photos of their babies. They sat in the car for a long time, just looking at each other, laughing, and trying to take it all in. They weren't just having a baby. They were having two. That promised ring Bryce had given Elizabeth all that time ago, the one that symbolized a future together, was now more meaningful than ever. Life had something even bigger planned for them. On the drive back to the Johnston house, there was a whole new kind of excitement in the air. Elizabeth and Bryce were keeping a life-changing secret, and they couldn't wait to share it with their loved ones. Telling Trent and Amber, along with the rest of the Johnston family, was a big moment. This wasn't just any news. It was the first pregnancy among the Johnston kids, and it was twins. They knew the reaction would be unforgettable. That same evening, they called a family meeting in the living room. As everyone got settled, there was a feeling that something special was about to happen. Trent and Amber could tell something was up. Elizabeth and Bryce were visibly nervous but excited. Elizabeth took a deep breath and stood up, with Bryce beside her, his hand resting gently on her back. Her voice shook a little as she started speaking. "Bryce and I have something to tell you." Everyone turned to look at them. Jonah, Anna, Alex, and Emma leaned in, curious. Elizabeth looked at Bryce, who nodded to encourage her. Then she turned to her parents and said, "Mom, Dad, you're going to be grandparents." There was a moment of silence before the room burst into joy. Amber screamed with happiness and rushed to hug her daughter. Trent followed, smiling proudly as he pulled both Elizabeth and Amber into a big group hug. There were hugs, happy tears, and cheers from the siblings. Jonah gave Bryce a congratulatory pat on the back. Anna and Emma were squealing, already imagining how they'd spoil the baby. Alex gave a sweet, calm congratulations, guys. That's awesome. The room was full of love and excitement, but Elizabeth and Bryce weren't finished yet. They had one more surprise. Once things settled a bit, Elizabeth raised her hand. Wait, she said with a smile. There's more. She gave her mom an envelope with the ultrasound pictures inside. Amber, still crying happy tears, opened it gently. She looked at the first photo and smiled. Oh, look at the little bean, she said. Then she saw the second photo, and the labels Baby A and Baby B. Her eyes grew wide. She looked back at Elizabeth, then at the photo again. Her mouth dropped open. No, she whispered, shocked. Are you serious? Trent came over to see what was going on. When he saw the two shapes on the ultrasound, he laughed out loud with surprise and happiness. Twins, he shouted, his voice echoing through the house. The room exploded again, louder than before. The siblings were screaming, jumping, and throwing out question after question. No way. 2 of them. You're joking. It was chaos in the best way. A classic Johnston family celebration made even better by the news of 2 babies. Amber, mom of 5 and soon-to-be grandma of 2, was overjoyed. She's always been the heart of the family, guiding her kids through everything. Now, the thought of loving and caring for 2 grandchildren filled her heart with happiness. Trent was already thinking like a grandpa. You could almost see him planning what he would build for the babies and what lessons he'd teach them. The Johnston siblings were just as excited. They are a close family, and now they were about to become aunts and uncles. The family that started as 7 was about to grow to 9. After sharing the news with their family, Elizabeth and Bryce knew it was time to tell the world. As reality TV stars with many loyal fans, they expected an outpouring of love and support. They made the announcement on social media, using a beautiful photo from a recent photo shoot. The caption was short, sweet, and full of emotion. And then there were 4. We are so excited, blessed, and a little bit terrified to announce that we are expecting 2. Our hearts are already so full of love for these 2 little miracles. We can't wait to start this next chapter of our lives and become a family. Thank you for all your love and support on our journey. The reaction came fast and strong. Within minutes, their post had thousands of likes and comments. Fans from all over the world shared their congratulations. News of the twins spread quickly across social media, with fan pages, news outlets, and even fellow reality TV stars joining in the celebration. The comments were a testament to the impact that Elizabeth, Bryce, and the entire Johnston family have had on their viewers. One fan wrote, I've been watching you since you were a little girl. Elizabeth, I feel like I'm watching my own family grow. I am so happy for you and Bryce. You are going to be the most amazing parents to those 2 lucky babies. Another commented, this is the best news ever, twins. The Johnston house is about to get even more fun. Congratulations, you 2. You deserve all the happiness in the world. The challenges. While the news of the twin pregnancy is a source of immense joy, it also comes with its own set of unique challenges. 8. Twin pregnancy for any woman is automatically considered high risk. 4. Elizabeth, who has androplasia. The risks are even more significant. Androplasia is a form of dwarfism that affects bone growth. It can lead to a number of health complications, and when it comes to pregnancy, there are specific concerns that need to be carefully monitored. These can include respiratory issues, as the growing uterus puts pressure on the lungs, an increased risk of C-section due to the size of the baby's heads in relation to the mother's pelvis, and the higher likelihood of premature labor. Elizabeth, with her nursing background, is well aware of these risks. She and Bryce have had extensive conversations with their medical team to create a comprehensive care plan. They are working with specialists who have experience with pregnancies in women with skeletal dysplasia. We're told that Elizabeth is being monitored very closely with frequent checkups, ultrasounds, and consultations with various specialists. Her health and the health of her 2 babies is the number 1 priority. But if there is one thing we know about Elizabeth Johnston, it's that she is a fighter. She is strong, resilient, and incredibly proactive when it comes to her health. She is approaching this pregnancy with the same determination and grace that she has approached every other challenge in her life. She is focusing on staying healthy, eating a nutritious diet, getting plenty of rest, and listening to her body, and she has the most incredible support system in the world. Bryce has been an absolute rock. He is by her side at every appointment. He is taking on more of the household chores to ensure that Elizabeth can rest, and he is a constant source of emotional support. His calm and steady presence is exactly what Elizabeth needs during this time. And then, of course, there is the entire Johnston clan. Amber, with her wealth of experience and her nurturing spirit, is a constant source of guidance and support. Trent is always there to offer a helping hand or a word of encouragement, and her siblings are rallying around her, offering to help in any way they can. This journey may have its challenges, but Elizabeth is not walking it alone. She is surrounded by an army of love, a family that will lift her up and support her every step of the way. Another important question on everyone's mind is the genetics of it all. Will the twins have androplasia? As we know from the show, Amber and Trent both have AIA. Their children, however, have a mix of androplasia and average height. Jonah and Elizabeth have androplasia, while Anna, Alex, and Emma do not. The genetics are complex. If a person with aeroplasia has a child with an average-sized person, there is a 50% chance that the child will inherit the gene for Asia. In the case of Elizabeth and Bryce, since Elizabeth has achondroplasia and Bryce is of average height, each of their babies has a 50-50 chance of having achondroplasia. This means there are a few possibilities. Both babies could have achondroplasia. Both could be average-sized, or one could have androplasia and the other could be average-ized. Elizabeth and Bryce have been very open about their feelings on this topic. They have said that they will love their children unconditionally, whether they are little people or average-ized. They are, after all, experts in creating a loving and supportive environment for children of all sizes. The Johnston household is a perfect example of this. Their main focus is on a healthy pregnancy and the safe delivery of their two babies. The rest is in the hands of fate, and they are prepared to embrace whatever outcome they are blessed with. With the news of twins, the nesting phase has kicked into high gear for Elizabeth and Bryce and for the entire Johnston family. Preparing for one baby is a big undertaking. Preparing for two is a whole new level of planning and organization. The first big project, the nursery. Elizabeth and Bryce have a room in their home that they are transforming into a magical space for their two little ones. We've heard whispers that they are going for a neutral, calming theme. Think soft grays, gentle greens, and warm woody accents. A serene oasis for their babies to grow and thrive in. And you know that Trent, the master of DIY, is heavily involved. We can just picture him now, tools in hand, building custom cribs that are perfectly sized and accessible for Elizabeth. He'll probably build a changing table that is ergonomically designed for her as well. Trent's love language is acts of service, and you can bet that he is pouring all of his love and excitement into creating a beautiful and functional nursery for his grandchildren. And then there's the shopping. 2 car seats, 2 high chairs, 2 of everything. The Johnston family is known for their practicality and their love of a good bargain. We can imagine Amber leading the charge, creating detailed lists, and hunting for the best deals on diapers, wipes, and all the other baby essentials. Anna and Emma are no doubt in charge of the fun stuff, the adorable matching outfits, the soft blankets, and the cute nursery decor. They are going to be the most stylish ants on the block. Beyond the physical preparations, Elizabeth and Bryce are also preparing themselves mentally and emotionally for the journey ahead. They have been reading books on twin parenting, talking to other parents of multiples, and of course getting lots of advice from the seasoned pros, Amber and Trent. They are a team in the true sense of the word. They are communicating openly about their hopes and fears. They are dividing up the responsibilities, and they are making sure to cherish these precious moments before their lives are turned upside down in the most wonderful way. We can't wait to see this all play out on the next season of 7 Little Johnston. The nursery reveal, the baby shower, all the heartwarming and hilarious moments of preparation. It's going to be must-see TV. The arrival of Elizabeth and Bryce's twins marks a new era for the Johnston family, that it's the beginning of a new generation, the first. Grandchildren for Amber and Trent. This is a profound and beautiful moment for any family, but it feels especially. Pump for the Jones. We have watched their family grow and evolve over the years, and now we get to witness the joy of them stepping into their new roles as grandparents, aunts, and uncles. Amber and Trent have always put their family first. They have dedicated their lives to raising 5 confident, kind, and independent children. They have taught them the importance of hard work, resilience, and unconditional love. Now they get to pass on that wisdom and love to a new generation. Imagine the Johnston house already so full of life and laughter with 2 new babies in the mix. The holidays, the family vacations, the everyday moments, everything will be amplified with the addition of these 2 precious souls. The twins will grow up surrounded by an incredible amount of love and support. They will have 2 amazing parents in Elizabeth and Bryce. They will have doing grandparents who will spoil them rotten. And they will have a built-in team of adoring aunts and uncles who will always be there to play with them, protect them, and cheer them on. They will also grow up in a unique and wonderful environment where being different is celebrated. They will learn from a young age that love, family, and character are what truly matter, not size. This news also opens up exciting new storylines for 7 Little Johnston. Fans will be eager to follow Elizabeth's pregnancy journey, to witness the birth of the twins, and to see how the entire family adapts to these new additions. Will we see more of Bryce's family and how they are preparing to be grandparents? How will Jonah, Anna, Alex, and Emma embrace their new roles as aunts and uncles? And of course, how will Elizabeth and Bryce navigate the chaotic, exhausting, and incredibly rewarding world of being parents too? Newborn twins? So, as we close out this special report, we want to extend our heartfelt congratulations to Elizabeth, Bryce, and the entire Johnston family. This is a time of immense joy, a time of new beginnings, and a time of abundant blessings. We are also incredibly happy for you, and we cannot wait to meet the 2 little miracles who are on their way. We will be following the story closely, and we will be sure to bring you all the latest updates as Elizabeth's pregnancy progresses. We're hoping for a gender reveal soon, and we can only imagine the fun and creative way the Jones will share that news with the world. What do you think? Will it be 2 boys, 2 girls, or 1 of each? Let us know your predictions in the comments below. More update. 7 Little Johnstons. Liz and Bryce are begging money from fans for their dream wedding and honeymoon. And did haters push Liz Johnston to shut off comments? 7 Little Johnstons. Does Liz secretly hate being a little person? I will explain everything. 7 Little Jones. Liz and Bryce are begging money from fans for their dream wedding and honeymoon. It seems like 7 Little Johnston's fans are helping Liz and Bryce pay for their dream wedding and honeymoon. They have set November 8th as the date for their wedding, but it appears like the TLC star is pleading with her fans to pay for her ideal wedding and honeymoon.